Hey, what's up guys? Matt here with Fix Anything Save Money. Today we're going to be showing you how to fix a leaky faucet. This is a Moen Genta faucet. So we're going to be showing you how to replace the cartridge. On this one we're going to be showing you on the hot water side, but you can see this is a dual vanity. So we're going to be walking you through step by step, telling you the parts that you need and the tools, and then I'm going to put links in the description on where you could buy the part and the tools. So I will say, when you have a leaking faucet, and you're not going to be able to tell right away if it's the hot or the cold water. So what I recommend doing if you're looking to save money is when you're going to want to shut the water off first, but you can tell which one it is if you shut one off at a time. So if you shut the hot water off and it's still leaking, then you know it's the cold water cartridge that needs to be replaced, and then vice versa. If you shut, the cold water off and it's still leaking, then you know that it's the hot water that's leaking. But that being said, I do highly recommend you just replace both, because if one's leaking, it's only a matter of time, until the other one leaks. And I would even go ahead and just replace both sides. So you could just pick up 4 of them, or if you're looking to save money, you could do what I just said and just replace one at a time, whichever you prefer. But like I said, I'll put links on where you could buy them and then where you could buy the tools you're gonna need. There's not a whole lot of tools that you need for this. Pretty much just a pair of channel locks or a strap wrench, and I'll put a link for a strap wrench on there too. I don't have one on me right now, but channel locks, and then a pair of needle nose. But you might not even need the channel locks depending on how tight this is. So like I said, we're going to be replacing the hot water. So we'll just go ahead. We're just going to turn the water off to everything. And then all you want to do is just rotate this base this way. So you want to rotate it this way. And on this, I recently installed this probably about like 6 or 7 months ago. It's not actually leaking, but I wanted to show you how to change it when it does leak, because eventually they all do leak. So I'll just show you this real quick. So you just rotate this way, like I said. And then always make sure, your water's off. So you just rotate this base until it comes off. Okay, so now you can see what we're looking at. On some of the Moens, there's a little screw in there that you have to remove. On this Genta model, this piece just kind of lifts straight out, and you can kind of see what it looks like in there. There's no screw. It just kind of is oval like that, and then it fits onto that little oval pin on the actual cartridge. So down in there, that's the cartridge that we're going to be replacing. But there's a little like bonnet nut. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but there's a little nut in there. And Moen does make a special tool to remove that little nut, but you could also remove it with a pair of needle nose, and I'll show you that process. And all you're going to do is take your needle nose and open them up. You're going to rotate this way to get it loose, so you're going to spin the pliers like this. And then once you break this first little seal in here, and once I pull it out, you could just, I'll show it to you in detail, but you could, once the seal's broken on it, you could rotate it out by hand. And I'll show you what it looks like and then what we did, because it's kind of dark and you can't really see in that hole. And this is kind of a pain to get out, but once it's loose and you kind of see it lifting up, you could get it out. Or you could actually, so once you get this piece loose, you could go ahead and take your needle nose and grab onto that pin like that, and then just pull straight up. Okay, so we have that up, and you can see this is what we loosened with the needle nose. So you need to make sure that this is loosened. So pretty much what I did was I just took my needle nose and kind of put them in here and just rotate it against here like that. and that just loosened it enough. But they do make a tool. I'll put the link where you could buy it, and I'm sure it makes it, you know, a lot easier to remove this little nut. But you remove this nut, and then your cartridge comes right out. So you can see that's what the cartridge looks like. And I'll put a link on where you could buy this. And then all you're gonna wanna do, and if you're just so you know, some of them, if there's screws or something, just put like a rag or something in your drain so the screws don't go down into your drain. Just put a rag over your drain. That's always something you should do. But I know there's no screws on here, so, you know, I didn't put a rag on there. But, so then you're gonna take your new cartridge, and then you can see here there's grooves right here. It's kinda, there's a groove right here, and there's a groove right here. And then if you look down in there, you could see how it's slotted. So you just fit it in to those slots like that. And then just push it straight down. And then you're just gonna put your little cap back on and screw it on. And now this part, you need to make sure that this is tight. You need to make sure that's very tight, because if it's not, then the water pressure is going to force that cartridge up a little bit. And what it's going to do is it's going to make it seem like you didn't fix it and that it's still leaking. But really, you know, it's fixed. It's just, and also, you know, a good tip is just to kind of pull it out before you put it back in. You could pull it out and just kind of soak up any water that's coming up, because that's going to allow you to see that nut better when you're going to tighten it in a second. So you just want to kind of get the water out of there, either with a rag or stick your finger in there so it bubbles out. Okay, so now we're just going to put this back in, like I said, just like that, into those slots. And then just press it down all the way. And then just take a look at it. And now we're going to put our little nut back on. And then you could just kind of screw it in, get it started with your finger, and then take either the tool you're going to buy or your pair of needle nose, and then just tighten it down the rest of the way. And like I said, you want to make sure you tighten this, or it's still gonna leak. And you can even check before you buy it. Before you buy this part, you could check, and maybe this nut is just loose in there and you just have to tighten it and that stops your leak. That could happen. But most likely, you know, the cartridge is probably bad. I feel like if you have well water, then, you know, there's a lot of minerals and stuff that could gather on those O-rings in there, and they destroy cartridges a lot easier. I feel like if you have like city water, it might not happen as much, but or as frequently, but regardless. So then we're just going to take this little extender piece that goes over the handle, and you can see the shape of it on here and the shape of it here. So you're just going to fit it on there, and then you're just going to press down on it. You want to press down all the way, because it does, you know, it might seem like it's pushed down, but just give it a good push. There, now it's down all the way, and then you just want to make sure this is turned all the way this way to the off position. And then we're just going to put our handle back on, kind of line it up so that it's all, you know, the handles are even with the back of your wall, like that. And then once it's even, you're just going to tighten it back down. Just hold the top and tighten it down. And then you could see it's not going to be on reverse. So you can see we're good there. We could turn our water back on. Okay, and then we can test it. You just want to make sure it's not leaking. No, we're good. So yeah, guys, like I said, I'll put links on where you could buy the channel locks, the needle nose, a strap wrench, because if you can't get this off, and then and you're going to use channel locks, then make sure you put like some sort of thick tape or a rag around this finish, because you're going to scratch this finish very, very easily. So if you do need to use a tool to get this handle off, then just don't put the tool on it, because it's going to scratch it. So the strap wrench, I would still recommend, you know, it's a softer material, those strap wrenches, but I would still recommend putting some sort of tape or some sort of cloth over it so you don't scratch it. So yeah, guys, let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to check the links on where you could pick up the cartridge and the tools that I used in this video. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if it helped you out. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.